So I cannot wait for you guys to hear Audra Wilford right now. Give it up for her, y'all.
Thank you, thank you. Let me get up here on the stage real quick. Olympia, you said it all, you did it all. It's about the spark inside. I'm in awe right now. I'm completely in awe. Everything that's happening in here is so absolutely amazing. Would you all do me a favor? Would you take a deep breath with me for just one moment? Okay. That's it. And that's the spark inside all of us, right? And, you know, Olympia, you all said it, you did it, and I am going to follow along with you right now, and I'm going to follow on your coattails because that is it. So I'm not going to give a talk. Is that a surprise to you guys back there? I'm sorry. It's not going to be a talk. But I'd like to share in this experience with you all. I need some help. I need some input, and so maybe this will get into the Q&A, because what happened with me in this process when I talked to Carla on the phone, and she said, you know, we're really happy to have you speak at the Shine, and we'd like for you to tell your story, but not necessarily the story, but a story, and we'd like for you to, you know, talk about something about you. And I thought, all of these years now, I have been telling our story, or what I think our story is, and now I'm going to talk about me, and I don't really know where that puts me. And so I started to think about this, the Shine. The Shine. Can you guys just say the Shine? The Shine. Shine. That word means a lot to me. And so I thought, I'll do two things today. I want to talk about this shine, this shine word, and then I would like to talk a little bit about my story, or the story that I'm going to own and lean into a little bit. So let me just put down my water real quick. Okay, I got some crazy notes here. I do. I'm going to follow along with myself a little bit as I go through this. So this concept of the shine, it's the spark. It's that thing. And I started to think about what is the underpinning of what I've done and why, and what our community has done and why I even stand before you today. And it's something that I'm going to completely admit. Does anybody into Brene Brown around here? Anyone? Oh, yes, thank you. Okay. I feel better already. I knew you would be. And I'm going to make myself really vulnerable here. I don't have a talk. I've got crazy notes. I'm talking about other things. But there's something here to say to you that it has been a challenge to me to figure out how to say all this. So I'm going to say it in two parts. And the concept of shining to me has stood out because I've been trying to figure out what that elemental force is, what that energy is, what that spark is. And I think I'm sort of wrapping my head around it, my heart around it. I think I'm sort of stepping into it. I think I'm getting into that flow. And I'd like to know what you all think your shine is, and our shine is, and what shine means as well. So hopefully we can get to that if you think about it a little bit. I had glimmers or glimpses or glints of this, you know, as I'm sure we all do. But on August 5th, 2011, when my 4-year-old son was diagnosed with brain cancer, something I didn't know was possible. I was completely ignorant. We were in an ambulance, and then we were in the ICU, and then he was in emergency brain surgery, and then he was partially paralyzed, and he was in the hospital for 4 weeks. I didn't know that was possible. But what I did was I faced fear. I mean, I faced deep, 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 dark fear. I faced darkness. And as I faced down to that inevitable, possible, maybe, I don't know, depths of everything I was afraid of, being the mother of this child, being responsible for his health and well-being as I helped bring him into this world, something popped up here. And in the darkness, I realized that I needed that shine. And there it was. There was that little shine. And that shine for me was hope. That shine for me was preparation over years, things that I could draw upon, things that I could find. And I found hope. And with hope, I found empowerment. And with empowerment, I found more hope. But drawing back on that day, it was really my shine in the darkest hour. in the darkest hours and days and days and days that helped me find those resources. It was that spark. And so what is that? What is that shine? To me, that shine is there, I don't know, I think there's this energy, and I think there's a space between our self, outside of the self, this energy, something that unites us all, and it's that connection that we all have. And it's the connection that we all feel, and it's the connection we were talking about earlier with the spark and that we saw in the video. And I now believe that we can grow that, and we can grow that to be a beautiful, bright light in the time of darkness or need for your community, for your friends, for the greater good, if you will, and we can all do this work together. So in facing fear, I lost fear. In facing fear, I found resilience. This is something I never expected to find in my life, and how beautiful is that? There are a lot of dominant narratives about us as not being resilient, and about our kids not being resilient. I mean, I have a friend who's reading a book about how to teach your kids left side and the right side of the brain to work together, right? To collaborate. And I think that they come built to do that. I think the left and the right side of the brain does that really, really well. And on its own, as it is. And when I saw my son thrive in this space, when I saw my son thrive against this adversity, I learned from him, and he shared his shine with me. And it was sort of a transformative space, a new birthing process. This is something that is now I'm coming to understand, and thanks to all of you, and thanks to today, and thanks to the space that you've created here, it's something that I'm coming to understand more and more beautifully, more and more well. The first night in the ICU, one of the things that we did, what do you say to a 4-year-old? The dominant narrative of cancer is oppressive. It is, and rightfully so, cancer is a very, very destructive set of diseases, and it takes too many of our loved ones and too much of our future away from us. So what do you do with a 4-year-old kid in this space? We took that cancer narrative, that oppressive narrative that would crush anyone, and we flipped it over and we turned it around. And we said, instead of a space of sickness, we are going to pursue and inhabit a space of wellness. Instead of that narrative of cancer, we're going to talk about good guys, and we're going to talk about superpowers, and we're going to talk about healing, and we're going to talk about thriving. And that is exactly what we did, and it completely changed not just the atmosphere for our son, but it changed our hospital. And now it's changing the lives of so many kids nationwide, which is just so amazing. So once we get to the space at the very end of this, which won't be too much longer, I promise, I want to enlist some of your help with that as well. So as we rewrote some of these narratives, the stories that were working against us, as we found empowerment, I think what happened with that shine, with that bubble of shine, is it became overwhelmingly clear as my son thrived. And he's thriving today. It's 4 years later. This kid is rocking it. He is passing notes to girls in 2nd grade. He has had 5 brain surgeries. He has had chemotherapy, radiation treatments. He has been on a very, very special anti-cancer diet for a while now, and he's been thriving against all the odds. But what became clear to us was that all kids deserve every opportunity to thrive in this way, every single one. And if we were going to do anything with this life, it was going to be to find ways to make that happen. And that was our shine. That's our shine. That is that connective tissue between us all. That is connection where there is not a space between self and other in that way. This is where we found the hope and empowerment to start to instigate something new in our community and new for kids in healthcare. This is where we come back around to what we do today in our nonprofit. So when my son came home from the hospital, it was after about 4 weeks, and he was paralyzed on the left side, and he was terrified. He was so afraid of the dark. He had this many nightlights on in his room. And he was still convinced that the dark was oppressive because all of his fears were there. I got him a nightlight, and this nightlight produced these beautiful, beautiful lights. And the green lights at this point, he named healing stars. He had been eating green foods. He had been healing. And he took that nightlight with those healing stars and he put this up to the back of his head like this. And he said, "Look, Mommy, I'm healing." Do you doubt him? No, he was healing. And it was at that moment when I knew there is this low-hanging fruit in healthcare. There's this low-hanging fruit in, I guess, all low-hanging fruit for us all. This is a medicine. If this was working for him, who's to say it's not working? So we started our nonprofit on the foundation of seeking out and providing that low-hanging fruit. And what that is every complementary therapeutic, evidence-based therapeutic that we could find to help our kids thrive in treatment and beyond. And this is something that every single child deserves 100% access to in every way. And not just our kids fighting cancer and life-threatening illnesses the way that we serve them, but our kids who are fighting to thrive in our communities every day. We have the odds stacked against us, right? We have I just have to say it, the standard American diet is oppressive. I was just in Kansas City. It is not Venice. It's very, very different. And I can see the challenges our kids face day in and day out. Yet, it's through challenge, it's by facing these adversities that we grow that shine. It's by facing the challenges and looking into the depths of the places we could go and taking it head on and leaning into it that we create a better future. And this is something that I think that I know that we can all do together for all of our kids. Whether your kid is like Max or your kid is your cousin or your niece or your nephew. So together, what I'm hoping that we will be able to do, will you indulge me for one little thing here? Yeah, I have a yes up front. She will indulge me. Okay, I would like for you to imagine, you can keep your eyes open or closed or whatever, but I would like for you to imagine in the palm of your hands, I would like for you to imagine this glowing, sparkly, beautiful, tickly, forceful, fierce little light. I'd like for you to feel the non-weight of it maybe, but maybe it's sparking off of your hands. And I'd like for you to then share some of that with the person next to you. Share it if you can. And what we're going to do is we share that light with the person next to you. Actually place it in their hands. Just place it, move it over, place it, do it, place it, take it. Okay. We're igniting the spark, the shine among all of us. Everyone is sharing in this right now. And what I'd like for us all to do is to recognize that as we have the shine movement, as we have these movements to make change with our sparks in our neighborhoods and all of that, this is exactly what the Maxilla Project is doing in our communities with families. We're providing broth. We're providing nutrition, we're providing farm visits, we're providing the things that our families need, but what it really is, it's that connection. It's the power of what unites us all that we're missing so often today, and that is what is most therapeutic and most healing. So I would like to see a healthcare revolution where we connect, and we heal, and we thrive. And please help me start with our kids. Thank you so much.